Can you hear me now? I have been informed that I wasn't actually recording audio. Oh. Am I still live? I can't see the preview. I should probably get this opened up on my phone anyway, just so I can see in real time what's going on. I would have noticed that my audio device was off. There we go. Okay. I had a couple things to say about the last pack. Say its name. Cool that I got a foil. It's a pretty decent foil. Or a pretty decent card, so it's neat that I got it in foil. Kona. I read it out. 4 for a 4/3. So I like this mechanic. I don't know if anything else has it, but cheating out creatures is good. Always good. And the other thing I mentioned, there were 2 in here. Hardened Escort. I was using this card because I pulled one in pre-release, and I thought its trigger was really good. You can give another one of your creatures +1/+0 and indestructible. I think that's just a really nice trigger to have. Found footage, that's something else I talked about. It is a 1-drop artifact, and it's just a clue, and it has an upside. So you're allowed to look at your opponent's face downs. And in this set, there's quite a lot of face down shenanigans with Manifest Dread, so I thought I had another pack. I did have another pack in my hand. Alright, we've got a token. Hooray. Cynical Loner. Sure. That's a creature. Land. Grievous Wound. I feel like there was another card with a similar name to that. I don't know if this is a reprint. I don't think it is. But Grievous Wound. It's a 5-drop aura, but it's a player enchantment, so you enchant an opponent. I mean, I guess you could enchant yourself with it too, but it's a bad effect. Enchanted player can't gain life, and whenever enchanted player is dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up. That's pretty good. Pretty cool. Oh, and here's one of those uncommon legendaries. We have Altanak, the Thrice Called. It's a 7-drop with 2 green up in the corner there. It's a 9/9 Trampler. When it becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card. I think that's what Nadu's effect was supposed to be, actually. And I think Nadu would have not been banned if its ability wasn't as versatile as it was, so I like this way better. You can tap 2, including a generic and a green. Discard this card from your hand, I guess. Return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I guess if you have a lot of stuff in your grave and you want it back, a lot of lands in your grave and you want it back, that's a decent way to get it back. So, pretty neat. I like that guy. Might be good in a 99. I'm not so sure about a commander deck based around him, but it might be good because there's a lot of self-mill and mono green right now. Patchwork Beastie. Cursed Windbreaker. It's an enchant or an artifact equipment. Interesting. Just gives lets you manifest dread and then you equip to whatever you manifested. So not bad, I guess. It's I don't love equipments in blue, but there's nothing wrong with them. Brood Spinner. Golgari for a 2/3 spider with reach. When it enters Surveil 2. Surveil's a nice mechanic. I'm kind of glad they've been bringing it back a little bit more. Like, I feel like Murders at Karlov Manor was the first time they kind of brought back Surveil for a while. And then they expanded on it with Bloomborough. And they're just keeping it going. So I think that's neat. You can sacrifice this and pay, 6 with Golgari included. Create a number of 1/1 black and green insect creature tokens with flying equal to the number of card types. Yeah, card types among cards in your graveyard. Okay, I can see where that might be useful. Say its name, given to violence. They had a set of basic land cycling cards in the set, which I think is nice. This is the island cycling. So it's a big dude. It's a 4/7, or not a 4/7, a 5/7 actually, and it has vigilance. I just knocked it. There we go. 5/7 Vig in a common slot for 6. I mean, if you need a big dude in your limited deck, that's what you go for, is something big like that. Bashful Beastie. Cute. Wary Watchdog. I like that. It's a dog. 2 for a 3/1. When it enters or dies, you surveil 1. I like it. Ticket Booth. Tunnel of Hate. Ticket Booth is when you unlock this door, Manifest Dread. Tunnel of Hate says whenever you attack, target attacking creature gains double strike until end of turn. Wow. And that just stays on your field. That's pretty cool. This card was also very good in Limited, Emerge from the Cocoon. It's just returning a card from grave to the battlefield, and you gain life. So it's 2 things, which is 2 for the price of 1 is always nice. Let's just move right along to the next pack. An art card. Very cool. What art card did I get? Ghost Vacuum. I pulled one of these during pre-release as well, the Ghost Vacuums. Let me shift stuff around. Pulled a Ghost Vacuum in pre-release, and since there's so much graveyard interaction in the set, this was such an annoying card to play around. The best thing I figured out you could do with it is those enduring enchantment creatures. When they die, they touch the graveyard before they come back. So when they touch the graveyard, you can activate the Ghost Vacuum to exile them. And then they don't come back because they're exiled. That was probably the best interaction I found for Ghost Vacuum. And this isn't even the card. This is just the art card. So I do have one from pre-release. But let's see if I can get this to focus back. Pyroclasm. Hello. It is just nasty. What is going on with this? Come on. I just had it focused, and now it's confused. 2 damage to each creature. I feel like that must be a reprint. Land. We like those. Don't need them. Razorkin Needlehead. Ooh, this was a great one. Somebody played this against me, and it was really nice. 2 for a 2/2. It's 2 red for a 2/2. Human. I think that's important. I might actually run this in Rakdos. Mono red Rakdos for Headliner Scarlet. I think this is exactly something it would like to have. But it has first strike during your turn. So when you are attacking with it, it has first strike. And anytime an opponent draws a card, this creature deals 1 damage to them. So it's a decent attacker if they don't have anything too buff on the field because of First Strike, and the bleed that it introduces to your opponents is really nice to have around. So, nice. Ooh, Leyline of Hope. 4 mana with 2 white. If Leyline of Hope is in your opening hand, you can begin the game with it on the battlefield. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1. As long as you have at least 7 or more than your starting life total, creatures you control get +2/+2. And Commander, that is not hard to do. So, let's play a game. No thank you. Popular Egotist, sure. Fear of Infinity. I have a friend that played against this card in their pre-release game. I did not. Actually, no, that's not true. I did play against it, but when it died, I ghost vacuumed it. So I didn't have to deal with it. It's 3 mana, 1 colorless, and then Dimir mana. 2/2 flying lifelink, and it cannot block. So this thing is just sideways all the time. It has Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, you may return Fear of Infinity from your graveyard to your hand. So it has a really easy recursion trigger on itself. It's just easy to get back. Horrid Vigor. Not bad. Death Touch and Indestructible until end of turn. Cool. Unable to Scream is a good removal. Fear of Immobility has a trigger on it. Unsettling Twins is something I used in my pre-release deck, and so is Hand That Feeds. But not much to say about any of that. Most of the creatures in my pre-release deck, since I pulled Arabella, were running 2 power or less. I had a couple outliers, like I ran the Piggy Bank for the treasure token, but we don't need to worry about that until I get there. If I get one. It's the spider. Yeah. Spider with eyes. No thank you. I'm okay with spiders, but spiders with eyes is a bit off. There's one, this time in foil. Bleeding Woods enters the battlefield tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. And it taps for Gruul, either or. Very nice. I like non-basics. They're good. Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna. Roaring Furnace is a 2-drop enchantment that says when you unlock this door, this room deals damage equal to the number of cards in your hand to target creature an opponent controls. And Steaming Sauna is 5. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. I like that for an Izzet deck. Tale of Tameo. Ooh, it's a saga. So it's a 3-drop with 1 blue. Number 1, 2, and 3. Mill 2 cards. If 2 cards that share a card type were milled this way, draw a card and repeat the process. Okay, so if you're milling yourself, that's... You have a chance of milling yourself pretty hard, which is nice. Exile any number of target instant, sorceries, and or Tameo Planeswalker cards from your graveyard. Copy them. You may cast any number of the copies. Any number of the copies. Any number. Oh. Interesting. So, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around the way that works. Because it doesn't say until end of turn. It just says you can exile any number of target instant sorceries and or Tameo Planeswalker cards from your graveyard. That means as long as they remain exiled, you can cast copies of them. I would have to ask a judge about the wording because that sounds a little too strong for 3 mana. Vengeful Possession. Yep, that's a Act of Betrayal. A guy. Another guy or girl, whatever. Just a 2/2 for 2. Destruction. It's a 1 mana black sorcery speed. Sacrifice a creature or enchantment, exile target creature. That's fine. Counterspell, sure. Horrid Vigor. Murder. Turn Inside Out is a pretty good combat trick. I had it gimmick me, and I gimmicked somebody else with it. So, Possessed Goat, great 1-drop in the set. If you're running in a sealed event, I'd say that's probably a fine card to go for. The only limitation on that ability, let me bring it back out while I'm opening the next pack because I just messed it up a little bit. The only limitation on this ability is that you can only do it once. I think that means, yeah, activate only once per card. If you have more than one Possessed Goat, you can activate it for the other Possessed Goat. But if if this one gets bounced or something, then you can just do it again. So it's not a bad option. The 3 counters on it can really take your opponent off guard. Treasure Token. Another room. It's foil. I don't really want to read all those words because it's just a common. Foil Island. Overlord of the Flood Pits. 5 mana for a 5/3. Impending 4. It's an enchantment creature avatar horror. Impending is interesting. It comes onto the field as an enchantment if you pay its impending cost, and it has that many counters. And then during each of your, is it your end step? Yeah. During each of your end steps, you tick those counters down. So you can pay it for cheaper there, but it takes a little while for it to actually become a creature, and it is a 5/3. But it has flying, and whenever it enters or attacks, you draw 2 cards, then discard a card. I did bring up Scryfall. We can look at that. Ooh. Overlord of the Flood Pits. I can't imagine this is going to be a super valuable card, but it is a mythic, and it's new. Yeah, it's sitting at less than $5, so that's fine. It looks like it could be a fun card for sealed. I think it's too expensive, although the impending cost is pretty good. It's basically 3 mana to draw 2 cards and then discard 1. And then once it turns on, once the creature part turns on, then you can start to draw 2, discard 1 whenever you swing with it. So overall fine, but I don't think it's anything game breaking. Hey, it's the weird land, Valgavoth's Lair, an enchantment land. Yeah, we've had artifact lands, yes, but what about enchantment lands? The land is hexproof, which is awesome, because that means your opponents can't strip mine this land. When it enters, it's tapped, and as it enters, choose a color, add 1 mana of the chosen color. Pretty basic for a land, even though it's a non-basic land. But I like a land with hexproof. I do. I don't know if I have seen one of those before, but pretty cool. There's another Fear of Infinity. Get Out. Haha, get it? Because there's a movie called Get Out, and it's a scary movie. And this is the scary deck. It's scary. Please laugh. Jump Scare. This is not a bad combat trick. The creature gains flying. And on top of that, it becomes an enchantment in its types. That's very strange that it would do that. That it would turn the creature into an enchantment. I mean, the creature's still a creature, but it gets enchantment in its typing. So it's just weird. Warrior Watchdog, turn inside out. I don't know if there's a lot of instant speed cards that can add creature types to your creature. There is an instant speed card that gives your creature horsemanship, and then it just doesn't go away, but that was an old card, and I think it may have been errated so that it works the way it was intended, not the way it reads. Grievous Wound, that is a foil rare. We've seen it already. Murky Sewer. It's another one of the dual lands that comes into play tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. Overload of the Mistmoors. Let's get that one pulled up on Scryfall. Overlord of the Mistfalls? Not Mistmoors. Overlord of the Mistmoors. It is. Make sure that's in frame. It's in frame, but it's a little bit glary. Let me see if I can fix that again. There we go. Overlord of the Mistmoors. It's a 7-drop with 2 white. It has that same impending ability, impending 4. You can play it for 4, and it remains an enchantment until the last counter is removed, the last time counter. Oh, it's a time counter. There's some goofy interactions with time counters in the Doctor Who set, so somebody else can go crazy with that. When it enters or attacks, create 2/2/1 white insect creature tokens with flying. Interesting that the insect creature tokens are white. It's a 6/6 as well, so 7 for a 6/6, and whenever you play it or attack with it, you create 2/2/1 white insect creature tokens with flying. Pretty cool. I expect that one might be worth a little bit more than the other one because its ability is a little bit better, in my opinion. Yeah. We're looking at like $650. No, that's the full art one. There we go. Or the borderless, I should say. The border full one is actually worth more than the borderless one by 10 cents, but oh, wow. That alt anime art is killer. I love that. And it's more expensive. Much more expensive. Anyway, that's really cool. Somebody played this against me, and unfortunately, every time they played it, I had an answer. Veteran Survivor. This is another great 1-drop. It's just a 1-drop with options. It's a 1-drop. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it is tapped, you can exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. That means you can exile your own crap too, just in case you really want the second ability to turn online faster. As long as there are 3 or more cards exiled with a Veteran Survivor, it gets +3/+3 and has hexproof. I'm pretty partial to hexproof. Being able to turn hexproof on is great. So you pay 1 for a 2/1, which is already a good deal. It's just a Savannah Lions with extra abilities. Although it's a human instead of a cat, so it loses points there. It gets to be a 5/4 though after 3 combat phases. So, pretty good. Savior of the Small. This is a core survival. Interesting. I didn't notice that it was a core. Interesting. That's very interesting. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Savior of the Small is tapped, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from grave to hand. Interesting. I can see uses for that. A machete. That's cute. Enchantment spells cost 1 less. You cast, excuse me. And unlock spells unlock costs you pay cost 1 less. It's an Azorius, and I would say Azorius is the color combination that likes enchantments the most, so... Another counterspell, another say its name. Glimmerburst. 4 to draw 2 cards and make 2 tokens. Sure, why not? There's another Tunnel of Hate, and a Friendly Ghost. Pretty good. It's Casper. I feel like this is going a little bit faster than my last openings, so I'm happy. Art card. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. Withering Tenant. Ooh, it has cool art. And it's foil, I think. Withering Tenant. 3-drop with 1 black in the cost. Instant. Destroy target creature or enchantment. You lose 2 life. Love the art on this. Very, very cool art. Full art forest. Awesome. Oh boy. That's a thing. Funeral Room. It's 3 with 1 black. I need to... Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, it's an aristocrat on an enchantment. Let's find it. Funeral Room. Because it is a mythic. Worth, look at that. 525? Okay, sure, why not? The other side, Awakening Hall, 8 with 2 black. When you unlock this door, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Wow, okay. So it's, what is that, Lily's alt? Just all your stuff that's dead comes back. It doesn't make them zombies, but it's still good. Norin, Swift Survivalist. I feel like I remember this guy, and he's funny. Norin can't block. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. You may play that card from exile. This. Oh my goodness. I think I just found a way to recur. Yeah, that's a way to recur Scarlet, Headliner Scarlet. Okay. Well, they're going in the 99 for that deck. Awesome. Beastie Beatdown. Porgenic Infection. Balemark Leech. Malevolent Chandelier. The light fixtures are angry. It's a 6-drop artifact creature construct 4/4 flying 2 generic. Put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Activate only as a sorcery. It's not great, but it's a silly thing. Moldering Gym, Weight Room. Yeah, sure, it's fine. Fear of the Dark. That one is okay if I remember. Fear of Surveillance. A flashlight. Glimmerlight. It's a 2-drop artifact equipment. When it enters, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token, and equipped creature gets +1/+1. Equip cost of 1. That's funny. Most valuable Slayer. Valuable Slayer, yeah. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike. I like that. That's cool. Friendly Ghost. That is not a bad on-attack effect. Especially for a common. Next pack. Yes. Everywhere. It is every basic land type and a token, so I don't actually know how to play it, but that's cool. Grab the prize. As an additional cost, discard a card, draw 2 cards. If the discarded card wasn't a land card, then it deals 2 damage to each opponent. And it's a 2-drop. Sorcery speed, but hey, that's fine. Full art. Eternity Tracker. 2 generic, 1 blue, 2/3. Flash. We like Flash. Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, draw a card. It seems fine. That's very reasonable draw engine. Oh. Marina Vendrel. Wooburg for a 3/5. When it enters, reveal the top 7 cards of your library. Put all enchantment cards from among them into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. Tap to lock or unlock. Lock or unlock a door of target room you control. Activate. Well, that's a very unique ability because you can. There's certain things that certain enchantments, they only go off once. Like, I can think of one of them. There's Glassworks, and I don't remember the other side, but part of it is when it comes into play, it deals 4 damage, or when it comes into play or when it's unlocked, it deals 4 damage to target creature. So you can just tap and lock that side so that you can use it again later. That's kind of cool. That's really fun. I believe he's Bookworm. That's fun. Bottomless pool, locker room, yeah, and shit. More rooms. Vile Mutilator. What a nasty name. Slavering Branch Snapper. 6-drop for a 7/6. Oh, this is the Forest Cycler. I said there was a basic land. A cycler for each basic land in the set. And that's the green one. Yeah. Neat. Aha, just what I needed. More Punch-Out tokens. They'll go in with the tokens. Here's a foil. And another foil. It's another one of those check lands. Enduring Curiosity. Ooh, I really wanted this one. I think it's one of the more expensive Endurings as well. Let's bring that up. Flash. Yep, it's 4 mana, 2 generic, 2 blue. For a 4/3 with Flash, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. When it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. It is no longer a creature. Although, if you bounce it to your hand and then recast it, it would be a creature again. And like I said, I was using Ghost Vacuum, so when it touches the graveyard, because it does have to touch the graveyard to return from the graveyard. But when it touched the graveyard, I was just tapping Ghost Vacuum to exile it. That's a good one. Enduring Curiosity. Great card. Oh, I forgot to look at the price. Duh. Yeah. $1.86. Okay. Still better than a Bulk Rare, but I expected it to be worth a little bit more. Not too much more, but just a little. I thought it would be like a $4 card, maybe. Root-Wise Survivor. Sure. That's a card. Pyroclasm. Floodplains Drifter. It's a Merfolk. That's a scary looking Merfolk. I do not want to run into that. I cannot take this card seriously. Fear of Abduction, and there's just a frickin' alien on it. It's a 6-drop for a 5/5. As an additional cost to cast the spell, exile a creature you control. It has flying, and when it also when it enters, you exile target creature an opponent controls, and when it leaves the battlefield, put each card exiled with it into its owner's hand. It's got alien on it. That's so goofy. I can't. That's so silly. Cryptid Inspector. Freaking alien. I love that. I saw somebody play a card that was actually just a flying saucer. That would be fun to pull. I can make the alien abduction deck only run cards that exile permanents that my opponents control. I'm laughing still. That's stupid. Okay, Violent Urge. 1 red. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. And it has Delirium. If there are 4 or more card types among the cards in your graveyard, that creature gains double strike until end of turn instead. Neat. Neglected Manor. Cursed Recording. Oh, I did not like this. I pulled one of these and I didn't run it, even though I was running red, just because I think... I mean, I don't think in Limited, if the card goes off, then you're probably screwed anyway. But I just wasn't running that many instant or sorcery cards. So, 2 generic, 2 red. Curse Recording is an artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a time counter on Cursed Recording. Then, if there are 7 or more time counters on it, remove those counters and it deals 20 damage to you. You can tap it. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that target. You may choose new targets for the copy. I can see its use. I don't like the idea of slapping myself in the face for 20 damage. However, I might still put it in my crappy mono red deck because that deck just has all the worst burn spells, and I think it would be funny. That crab is crazy. Another rat. Yeah, not much to say here. Seized from Slumber is a pretty good removal spell, though. I'll just talk about it while I'm opening the next pack. It has instant speed, and it costs 3 less if it targets a tapped creature. So, yeah, if your opponent is attacking, then you just blow up their biggest attacker that's tapped for 2 mana. So, it's pretty good. Well, look at that. A Kaito emblem. I don't even have a Kaito yet, so we'll see if I get one. Infernal Phantom. Don't really care about it. It's a common. Raucous Carnival is another one. Ooh! Enduring Innocence. That's much more interesting. This is another good one. I think most of the Enduring cards are pretty good. Let's find this one. Oop. I think I spelled that right. Enduring Innocence. It is a 3-drop. It is a sheep glimmer. It's a little sheep. Little damn baba. How cute. 2/1 lifelinker. Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And it has the same enduring effect as the other one, the cat. So when it dies, it hits grave, but then it comes back to your field where it's an enchantment and not a creature. So your enchantment has lifelink. Wait, does it say if it was a creature? Oh, God. Okay. I'm sure there are ways to turn your enchantments into creatures. So, hear me out with this. If your Enduring Innocence dies and it's a creature, it comes back. So if you have a way to make your enchantments creatures, like just a board effect where it's like, oh, enchantment creature, or enchantments you control are also 1/1 creatures in addition to their other effects, then this would come back every time it died, because it would say it's not a creature, but then your field says any enchantment you have is a creature. Yeah, that's silly. Painter Studio Defaced Gallery. Ah, here it is. Arabella, Abandoned Doll. I pulled this in my pre-release, and it was great. It is Boros, so red and white for... Oh, I forgot to look at the price for Enduring Innocence as well. Yeah, like $2.25. That's fine. That's a good price for it. Arabella, let me look that one up too. I'm mostly just curious about the price for Arabella because I want to see if it's Pauper legal. Arabella the Abandoned Doll. Oh, it's not it's just Abandoned Doll. Oops. Arabella Abandoned Doll. You can see it there. Like I said, Boros colors, so 1 red, 1 white. It's a 1/3, and whenever she attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. So my Boros deck is actually just going to be this, and I'm hoping it's Pauper legal. Oh, it says it's not. I don't know why. Maybe it has to be non-legendary for Pauper, but it's sitting at 45 cents. Maybe they're just waiting for the price to settle. I don't know the exact rules for Pauper. I just thought it would be funny to have a really cheap commander deck that just works. Excuse me. Sheltered by Ghosts. Oh, that's in the wrong pile. That's also in the wrong pile. Live or Die. Teehee. You can destroy a creature or return a creature card from graveyard to battlefield. Neat. Creature becomes unblockable and draw a card. Nice cantrip. I like that. Bear Trap. Oh, I was so mad. Bear Trap screwed me over on one of my games. Acrobatic Cheerleader. That's silly. At the beginning of your second main phase, if she's tapped, put a flying counter on it. Just gains flying after the first turn it attacks. The cheerleader can fly over the bear that wants to eat her because it's a bear. Strictly better bear. Gone are the days where Traveling Philosopher was actually a fine card to play unlimited. Another cool art card. Wolverine Gym Weight Room. Mountain. Leyline of Resonance. Ooh. Leyline of Resonance. Screw it, I'll look up the Leylines too. Leyline of Resonance. It's a 4-drop with 2 red. Bumped my shelf. Let's find that on Scryfall real quick. There it is. 2 generic, 2 red. If Leyline, it has the standard Leyline ability where if it's in your opening hand, you can just put it on the battlefield and start the game with it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Interesting. Would be really good in a feather deck. Very good in a feather deck. Beastie Beatdown. That's kind of fun. Flesh Burrower. Target creature you control gains Death Touch whenever you attack with it. Nice. Cracked Skull. Yep. Piranha Fly. That is horrifying. 2 for a 2/1 flyer, and it enters the battlefield tapped. That is a scary thought. Living Phone and Ragged Playmate. Yeah. Those are... I ran both of those in my pre-release deck. I ran stupid fast little creatures dot deck. Next pack. A token. Oh, a foil Terramorphic Expanse. How pretty. And a foil Swamp. The Mind Skinner. I pulled one of these too, and I ran blue just so I could run it, and then I realized that it only had 1 toughness, and that it was a stupid idea. Fool me once. Mind Skinner. The Mind Skinner, even. The Mind Skinner. 3 blue for a 10/1 that cannot be blocked. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage, and each opponent mills that many cards. Kind of fun for a blue deck. It's also a legendary creature. Therefore, you could run it as your commander. You can run mono blue mill with this as your commander. It is $1.14. It is a bulk rare. For such a fun card, I would expect it to be worth a little more, but I guess people would probably just pulled a lot of them. Human Clown Berserker. Don't like that. No, thank you. Dashing Bloodsucker. Ah, Clockwork Percussionist. I also ran this in the deck. Pretty nice. It's a pretty good effect for a 1-drop. Oops. Nah, it was just a room. Whatever. And another Terramorphic Expanse. While we're waiting, I forgot to look up Leyline of Hope, so we'll pull that up. Leyline of Hope. Leyline of Hope. That one's worth... You know what? I expected that. It's worth 51 cents. Wowee. Not surprised. Life gain... Stuff that... Anything that really has anything to do with life gain is just kind of lackluster in Commander. So... Reality, Mountain, Balustrade Worm. Let's look that one up. That's rare slot. I may have spelled it right. I put an extra L in. Oops. Balustrade Worm, 5-drop, cannot be countered, Trample Haste. It's 5 for a 5/5. 5 with 2 green, I should say. Delirium, 2 generic, 2 green. Return Balustrade Worm from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Activate only if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard and only as a sorcery. Okay, sure. I can't remember exactly how finality counters work. I think it's if they leave the field for any reason, they just get exiled instead. Piggy Bank, that's a good one. When it dies, you make a treasure token. Right of the Moth. Fear of Imposters. Creeping Peeper. Spooky, spooky little guy. Resurrected Cultist. Yeah. Return Resurrected Cultist from your grave to battlefield with a finality counter. Oh, I thought it was going to be like a reassembling skeleton deal where you could bring it back to field as long as you had Delirium up. Finality counters are a good way to balance, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes you get them and I don't think they're really needed. The card wasn't really that strong in the first place, so... Oh, very cool. Winter's Intervention. Rocket's Carnival. Omnivorous Flytrap. Ooh, I like it. Omnivorous Flytrap. 2-drop. 1 generic, 1 green, 2/4. Let's bring that up on Scryfall. Nope, I switched where that should be. Oh, omnivorous. I thought it was carnivorous. Oops. Omnivorous Flytrap even. 3, like I said, 2 generic, 1 green, 2/4, and it has Delirium. Whenever Omnivorous Flytrap enters or attacks, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, distribute 2 1/1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. Then, if there are 6 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, double the number of 1/1 counters on those creatures. So you can have artifact, enchantment, creature, land, instant, sorcery. I might be missing something. Let's try again. Artifact, enchantment, instant sorcery. Artifact, enchantment, instant sorcery. Creature, land. You might have to have... Is there anything else? There might be. I might be missing something. Its ability is really good if you can get it to pop off, but... Well, let's check its value. 61 cents. I think the other one... it's cheaper and the art is way better. That's cool, though. Cheap card. That's fine. Drag to the Roots. Shepherding Spirits. That's the plain cycling one in the set. It's a flyer if you want to play it instead. That's not bad. Here's the one I was talking about. Yeah, Glassworks. Glassworks Shattered Yard. Shattered Yard is a good bleed effect for limited. It's not great, but it's fine. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of bleed just to put a time counter on the game. Makes their life gain feel a little bit less impactful when they're just getting blood every turn. And the Glassworks part is super great. 4 damage to a creature. And you just have access to that while Shattered Yard is on the field. Next pack. Art card. Ooh, that one signed. Cool. The Menacing Chandelier. Oh no, the Malevolent Chandelier. It's even worse. It actually has ill will. Oh, there's the Ghost Vacuum. So if you don't know what it did before, I can read it now. Let's look it up too. I think it's probably one of the best support artifacts in the set. Ghost Vacuum. 1 drop. Tap, exile target card from a graveyard. Does not say at sorcery speed, that is instant speed. So you can respond to one of the enduring cards entering the battle or entering the graveyard and just get it out of there. 6 tap, sacrifice Ghost Vacuum, put each creature card exiled with Ghost Vacuum onto the battlefield under your control, with a flying counter on it. Each of them is a 1/1 spirit in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. It's great. I exiled 2 of someone's Enduring, or was it 3? I think it was just 2, because they were in the same colors as me. Yeah, they had the red one and they had the white one. So I actually wound up getting both of them. 82 cents, that makes sense. It's not the best artifact, but for constructed, I mean, I think it was really good to play in Precon. Or, not Precon, Limited. Doomsday Excruciator. What is that? 6 black pips. Demon. This was also my promo. Doomsday Excruciator. Did I spell that right? Doomsday Excruciator. Look at that, I did. Demon. Flying, 6/6. When it enters, if it was cast, each player exiles all but the bottom 6 cards of their library face down. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. That also puts a pretty hard timer on the game, but you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because you're drawing 2 cards at a time instead of just 1. 91 cents. Could be fun to play to just throw a wrench in the game. Oh, I saw. Cackling Slasher. Bedhead Beastie. Oh yeah, this is the mountain cycling one. I think we've seen almost all of those. Next pack. Oh yeah, more Punch-Out tokens. Ragged Playmate. A land. We talked about that one. Yuck. Fear of Burning Alive. That's cool. Deals 4 damage to each opponent. Sure, that can go in shitty mono red burn. Fear of Failed Tests. A lot of the Fear of cards are pretty good. They at least have interesting effects. Yeah, we've seen most of these before anyway, so. Do not like that curse recording. It would be really funny to blow myself up for like 40 damage, though. Jump Scare. Now that Mana Crypt is gone. Fear of Missing Out. Oh boy. 2-drop. 1 generic, 1 red. For a 2/3. When it enters, discard a card, then draw a card, and it has Delirium. Whenever Fear of Missing Out attacks for the first time each turn, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, untap target creature. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. That's crazy. Very good. Let's check the price on it. Yeah, $3.12. Ooh, that art's so cool too. Yeah. That's a good one. Funny thing is that it has 2 power, which means it would go in Arabella just fine. It might be too expensive though for Pauper. So. Found footage. All right, next pack. Not much to say right now. The rare is pretty much the real excitement card anyway, so. Good art. We like the art. Seeds from Slumber in foil. Nice. Bleeding Woods. Oh! Okay. Split up. One color, one generic, one white, and another white. So 2 white. Excuse me. 1 generic, 2 white. Choose one. Destroy all tapped creatures or destroy all untapped creatures. It's a 3-mana white board wipe. That's such a good card. Let's check price. $2.90, $3. Okay, sure. Orphans of the Wheat. That's stupid. You've heard of Children of the Corn. Well, how about Orphans of the Wheat? Whenever it attacks, tap any number of untapped creatures you control, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. That's so stupid. Orphans of the Wheat. I love it. Yep. Not too much to talk about there. Just the rare. Good rare, though. Good rare. Split up is crazy. I had the displeasure of my first game playing against one, and it totally blowing me out that game, so it happens. Oh, wow. That's a cool signature and cool art. Stay hidden, stay safe. Silent, excuse me. I was thinking keep it secret, keep it safe. Pretty good. Rip, Spawn Hunter. Look that up. Rip, Spawn Hunter. 4 mana, 2 generic, and Selesnya. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Rip Spawn Hunter is tapped, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is its power. Put any number of creatures and or vehicle cards with different powers from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. 19 cents. Yeah. It sounds like a fun ability, but it doesn't sound like an amazing ability. Fun, but not game-breaking. Under the Skin. Growling Dead. Lionheart Glimmer. Ooh, another Glimmer. This one has Ward. Whenever you attack creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay. It's a cat. I do have a cat deck. Oops. Cracked Skull. Fanatic Strength. Yep. These are cards. Aw, Friendly Teddy. It's 2 for a 2/2. Bear. Get it? Because it's a bear, so it's 2 for a 2/2. When it dies, each player draws a card. That's fine. That's nice. I like that. Little group hug. Not, crazy hard group hug, but drawing cards is always fun to do. A token. Conductive Machete. Peculiar Lighthouse. Oh. Victor Valgavoth's Seneschal. 1 colorless and Orsov color combo for a 3/3. So 3 for a 3/3. Okay. We take those. Victor. Valuevoths. Seneschal. Seneschal? Seneschal? Seneschal. Seneschal. Seneschal, probably. I don't know. English is hard. Oh, wow. This one's in French? Portuguese? Spanish? When did my language get changed? It doesn't have a price yet. Ah, French. Yeah, let's change that to English so that I can read it. My wife knows French. I do not. Killer Mask. Oh, price here. Yeah, 47 cents. Whenever an enchantment you control enters... Oh, wow. Oh, that's why. And whenever you fully unlock a room, surveil 2. If this is the first time that this ability has resolved this turn, if it's the second time, each opponent discards a card, and if it's the third time, put a creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Yeah, that's a kill on sight. Excuse me. Midnight Mayhem. That one's fun. This one did a lot of work in the pre-release. It makes 3 1/1 tokens, and then those tokens specifically, since they're gremlins, they get haste, menace, and lifelink. So more goat. Pack. Here we are, a shard. That was the thing, though. Haunted Screen. 3 mana for an artifact. Oh, this is the mana rock that's funny. Tap it to add black or white. Or you can tap it and pay 1 life to add green, blue, or red. So it's like a television, because they started in black and white, and then they got color later on. Haha. 7, put 7 1/1 counters on Haunted Screen. It becomes a 0/0 spirit creature in addition to its other types. Activate only once. Hatched Cornfield. More alien stuff. Ooh. Well, that's a good one. Oh, I think I pulled this one in pre-release too. I just didn't run it because my blue pool was kind of bad. Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. So Central Elevator is 4, including 1 blue. When you unlock this door, search your library for a room card that doesn't have the same name as a room you control. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then the other side, Promising Stairs, it's 2 generic, 1 blue, so 3 overall. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. You win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms you control. I think that might be most of the rooms in the game, but that's still cool. It's a what's it called? Alternate win con. There we go. Noxious Retrieval. 1 Phyrexian green. Put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. I don't. That's pretty good, but noxious retrieval. Oh, revival even. Maybe I should learn how to read. Noxious Revival. Ah, it was only an uncommon before. This copy, though, is worth $17.25. Okay, sure. $17.25. Killer Mask. Wildfire Wickerfolk. Gruul colors for a 3/2 haste scarecrow, and it gets +1/+1 and has trample as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Excuse me. Funny. Put it in the funny scarecrow deck. Funny scarecrow. Next pack. Punch out tokens. Sure. Yeah, just another foil room. Oh, another room. Walk-in closet, Forgotten Cellar. Walk-in closet is 2 generic, 1 green. You may play land. Yeah, you may play lands from your graveyard. That's just a Crucible Overworlds. People like that card. 3 generic plus green, CMC 5. When you unlock the store... Oh, this is Forgotten Cellar, excuse me. When you unlock the store, you may cast spells from your graveyard this turn, and if a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile it instead. That sounds pretty cool. Waltz of Rage. 3 generic, 2 red, sorcery speed. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Until end of turn, when a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library, and you may play it until the end of your next turn. I like that just fine. Unwanted Remake. Oh boy. Not much else to say about that one. Art card. Foil dog. We like foil dog. Foil land. Teddy. Beastie Befriender. Oh, no. Toby. Excuse me. I thought that was an E. Toby. Beastie Befriender. 3 for a 1/1. Human Wizard. When Toby Beastie Befriender enters, create a 4/4 white beast creature token with this creature can't attack or block alone. As long as you control 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. Toby, Beastie Befriender. Yeah. 63 cents. Doesn't surprise me. Fear of Exposure. Scrabbling Mind Crab. Or Skull Crab, excuse me. Vicious Clown was pretty good because most of my creatures had 2 power or less. He would pop off a lot if I could play like 3 creatures in a turn. Alright, next pack. Neat. Under the Skin in foil. Razortrap Gorge in foil too. Nice. Blazemeyer Verge. Oh, that's the rare. Blazemeyer Verge, excuse me. It taps on its own for a black, And if you control a swamp or a mountain, then you can tap it for red instead of black. If you choose to. But it's basically one color until you have another basic in your colors, and then it's both the colors, but not at the same time. I mean, yes, at the same... It taps for 1 mana, not 2 mana. There we go. Commune with evil. Bashful Beastie. The beasties are kind of cute. Another Vicious Clem. That is not cute. A spirit token. Speaking of spirits, I bet Spirit Halloween's probably starting to open all their stores that just come out of nowhere and then disappear right after Halloween. Another scarecrow. Interesting. I wonder if they're trying to bring scarecrows back. Hey, it's a chainsaw. 1 generic, 1 red for an equipment. When chainsaw enters, it deals 3 damage to up to 1 target. Whenever 1 or more creatures dies, put a rev counter on chainsaw. Equipped creature gets plus X plus O, where X is the number of rev counters on chainsaw. That's silly. Is it good? I mean, kind of. But it is much sillier than it is good. Hey, baseball bat. Selesnya colors for an artifact equipment. When it enters, attach it to a creature I control, or you control. A creature gets +1/+1. And whenever it attacks, tap up to 1 target creature. Just free tapping. Ooh, split skin doll. 2 for a 2/1. Draw a card. And discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. That's pretty cool. That would go in the Arabella deck. There's the Malevolent Chandelier back again for more. Ooh, this is a great one. I may have passed one before, but that's okay. Spineseeker Centipede. It is 2 generic, 1 green for a 2/1 insect. When it enters, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And Delirium, it gets +1/+2 and has vigilance as long as there are 4 or more creature card types, or sorry, not creature, just card, as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. It's basically just a bad Rampant Growth with attached to a 2/1 body. Because Rampant Growth puts to field, that just puts to hand. And I think as long as you had your land drop for the turn, that's not too big a deal. Or if you didn't, then you just play the land that you found. Oh, I forgot to look up the value for Chainsaw. I don't know if it'll be worth much, but it's fun to know. Chainsaw. 38 cents. That doesn't surprise me. I thought I just had a pack. Did I not? Oh, it's right here. Foil Murder. Reluctant Role Model. One generic, 1 white for a 2/2 survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Reluctant Role Model is tapped, put a flying, lifelink, or 1/1 counter on it. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, put those counters on up to one target creature. So it gives all your creatures modular, which is fun. Okay, next pack. How many more we have? I think that's 9 left. Spider token. Clockwork Percussionist. We like that card. Already had a foil one. Peer Past the Veil. 2 generic, then Gruul. So 2 generic, red, white. Or not white, red, green. That's 4 CMC. Discard your hand, then draw X cards, where X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. I don't think that would slot into most decks. That's pretty good. Hospital Room on this one. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. Malevolent Chandelier is still so silly when I see him. There's the Swamp Cycler. Spectral Snatcher. 6 for a 6/5. It has a ward cost too. Nice. And its Swamp Cycling is 2. I think most basic land cyclings cost that much. Scorching Dragonfire, yeah. Oh, look at that. A demon token. How spooky. Demon. Foil Saw. Razor Trap. Oh, this one looks gold. Dazzling Theater or Prop Room. Prop Room is the cheaper one. We'll start with that. 2 generic, 1 white. Untap each creature you control during each other player's untap step. Wow, that's so good. Dazzling Theater. Creature spells you control have Convoke. Convoke is also a pretty decent mechanic, and they're together on a card, which, yeah, that's pretty good. Shard Mage's Rescue, interesting. Another Clockwork Percussionist. Another room that I don't want to read because it's not a rare. Another Friendly Teddy. Yeah, and a Jump Scare. I think this is working a little bit faster. I think it took me about 3 hours to do my last opening, and this is shaping up to be about 2 hours instead. Acrobatic Cheerleader, haha. Full Art Swamp. Ooh, Gloom Lake Verge. Oh, that's another one of those, or what do they call them? I guess it's kind of like a check land. They come into play untapped too, which is great. Greenhouse and Rickety's Gazebo. Yeah. Storyteller. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Shrewd Storyteller is tapped, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That's pretty cool. That's almost like Anna Fenz's ability in my deck. So I might want to run that guy too. I can have it twice. Manifest Dread. Oh, let me rotate that a little so it's better and more centered. I am currently at a bit of an angle to it, so I can't sit straight on. Otherwise, I would be sitting inside of my computer. And I just got that computer, so I should not. I don't want to sit in my computer. That would be silly of me. Glimmer. Hey, a foil omnivorous flytrap. I'll take it. Because that was my foil slot, not my rare slot. Bit disappointing, because it's not a very valuable card, but that's okay. Another Gloom's Lake Verge, sure. Break down the door! That's funny, because it's like in The Shining, when... I don't remember the name of the character, but it was Jack Nicholson's character. He breaks down the door with the axe. It's like the same face. Exile target enchantment, or artifact, or exile target enchantment. Instant speed. That's pretty good. Oh, or Manifest Dread. Neat. Good options. Insidious Fungus. 1 for a 1/2 fungus. Sacrifice Insidious Fungus. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact. Destroy target enchantment. Draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. I like being able to play more than one land in a turn. That's always a nice option. I know I pulled one of them before, but that just looked like a lot of words on a card. Trapped in the screen. Neat. There's the flashlight. A foil goat. Nice. Mirror Room, Fractured Realm. Okay. I'm interested. Tell me more. Mirror Room is the left side. 2 generic, 1 blue. When you unlock this door, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's a reflection in addition to its other creature types. Fractured Realm. 7 CMC with 2 blue in that cost. If a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Triggered ability. Not activated ability, triggered ability. Still pretty good. I think there's a lot to think about there. Overgrown Zealot is a mana dork. Attack in the box. That's funny. 3 for a 2/4. Whenever it attacks, you may have it get +4/+0 until end of turn. If you do, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Wow. Ethereal. Isn't there... I think Ethereal Armor is a super old card. Oh, and the room there, the Fractured Realm and Mirror Room, it's just under $5. I want to look that up. I feel like Ethereal Armor has to be a reprint. Make sure I spelled ethereal right. Ethereal. Ethereal. Year of the Rabbit 2023. Cute art. Return to Rav. Yeah. Ethereal Armor. There it is. I thought so. Time Spiral Remaster. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. That name just really stuck out in my head for whatever reason. Fear of Falling. Calamity Prowler. Another room. Next pack. Hey, it's the 4/4 Beast from Toby. Unable to Scream. That's this one's pretty okay. They lose their abilities, which is nice. Dissection Tools, 5-drop artifact equipment. When it enters, manifest dread, then attach dissection tools to that creature. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Death Touch and Lifelink. And the equipped cost is to sacrifice a creature. Interesting. It is an artifact equipment that gives you a sacrifice outlet. Dissection Tools. Yeah, spelled it right first try. Currently worth 28 cents. I think that might go up just a tad, not too much, but I think it's very interesting that it gives you a sacrifice outlet. Exercise is another interesting card. 2 mana, 1 generic, 1 white. Sorcery, exile target artifact or enchantment or creature with power 4 or greater. I think that's really good options for a 2-drop, even at sorcery speed. Shroud Stomper. Sure. Vanish from sight. Trapped in the Screen. Yeah. Trapped in the Screen is just another O-ring. But it's an O-ring with Ward 2, so. Pretty art card. We like those. This dude, whatever, I don't care. Strangled Cemetery. Ooh. Tyvar the Pummeler. Tivar? Tiver? Let's look that one up. Tivar. The Pummeler. It's an elf. Nice. 1 generic, 2 green. Cool. Tap another untapped creature you control. Tivar the Pummeler gains indestructible until end of turn and tap it. So tap another untapped creature you control, regenerate it. Almost. 3/3, 5 with 2 green. Creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Sure. That's fun. 450 or 425, I mean. That's fair. What's the other one? Oh, that art is fierce. That's so cool looking. Neat. I like it. Attack in the Box. Funny. Oh, it's frickin' Orphans of the Wheat again. Damn Children of the Corn knockoff. Resurrected Cultist. Tunnel of Hate. It's the opposite of the Tunnel of Love. Alright, 2 more packs. This is going to be the second to last that I'm opening right now. Boom. Another art card. Oh, I don't know if I showed it very well. Looks like it's Skeleton Arm. Bear Trap foil. Cool. Island. The Jolly Balloon Man. Oh no. Generic red white haste. Oh, it's a 1/4 haste. One generic tap. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature in addition to its other colors and types, and it has flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. That's silly. That's... You know what? I'm going to pull the price up for that. What is it again? The Jolly Balloon Man. The Jolly Balloon Man. He's a freak. He's weird. $1.15. Yep. Yep. $1.33 for that art. Yeah, sure. Weird. That would go well in the low power creature deck just because it's pretty good. Optimistic Scavenger. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Not bad. Shardmage. Shardmage's Rescue. Yeah. Excuse me. Oops. Turn inside out. Last pack. A tip card. I've got a tip. Visit the garbage. Got him. Foil room. I just don't want to read the rooms because the print on them is too small for me. Hey, it's this card again. The Wooburg Enchantment Lover. Her name is Marina Vendrell. Oh, well, look at that. La-di-da. Oh, that's the card I really wanted to pull. The Grimoire. That is such a silly artifact. Marina Vendrell. We already read it. I just wanted to look at the price because I forgot. 25 cents for that art and 52 cents for the other art that I got. Lovely. Yep. Okay. Well, that's about it then. No more rares. Ghostly Keybearer. Unlock a locked door of... Oh, that's cool. You get to just complete a room in play if you hit somebody with them. Yep. Okay. Vicious Clown. Another fun one. Rip Chain Razorkin. Yeah. Lets you get rid of your own pesky lands and draw cards for them. That's silly. Okay. Well, what do we get in the end? Not too much. I was hoping for a Kaido. Kaido would have been pretty cool. Two foil rares, of which I don't think they're very valuable. Omnivorous Flytrap was like, what was it, 50 cents. So that's a bit of a bust, but I mean, it's a fun card. I'll probably play it in something. Grievous Wound, I didn't actually check the price on that. Grievous Wound. Did I spell it wrong? Oh yeah, I before E. I spelled it Grievous like General Grievous, just out of instinct. Oops. Grievous Wound. Worth 65 cents, so assume 50% more for a foil, and that's like still $1 and some change, so whatever. 2 copies of Marina Vendril, which are not very valuable again. However, I think it would be fun to make a Wooburg enchantment deck. Let me find the other one. There we go. Both arts. I get to pick which fun art I want to use. Just, it didn't seem to be a very high value card. The land, I really like this cycle of lands. I think they have 5 in this. I'm not sure. I would like to see them finish the set because I think that's pretty handy. Especially with something like, especially with the swamp one, because if you're running like an Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth in your deck, then all of your lands are swamps. I suppose you wouldn't really need that second ability then, because your Gloom Lake Verge would already be a swamp, and you could tap it for black, so it's a bit moot, but it's still funny. 2 Enduring cards. I like both of them. I think Enduring Innocence is probably the better of the 2, but Enduring Curiosity is pretty great too. Both pretty good. I already had a Mind Skinner, so I'm a lot less excited about that. 2 of the Overlord cards. Again, white and blue. I don't know what it is with white and blue, but I got a lot of white and blue rares today. Really versatile. I really like the impending ability because it makes them cheap, so you can get their effect out faster, and then you just have to wait for them to turn into creatures for a little while, and usually that's okay. But you have the option to just hard cast them into creatures anyway, so just the options, the whole options thing is good. The special guest is pretty good. Noxious Revival. That's fine. Put target card from a graveyard on the top of its owner's library. Yeah. What's annoying is you could just get it milled again if that's how it got there in the first place, but maybe you want that to happen. You know? Fear of Missing Out I also think is going to be pretty good. I think a lot of the rare fear cards were pretty good. But, oh yeah, 2 ley lines. I got red and white. I would have liked to see black, Leyline of the Void. I would have liked to see blue. I think they re-released it. Let me check. We can do a search. Leyline. Bam. Leyline. Oh, okay. Leyline. Let's add a word. Leyline of Abundance. Leyline of Anticipation. Hope. Life Force. Leyline of Combustion. Yeah, Combustion wasn't the red one. Oh wow, there's a lot more ley lines than I thought there were. Oh wow, Leyline of Mutilation sounds fun. Or, Mutation, excuse me. Again, maybe I should learn how to read. Leyline of Transformation, that's the blue one that came out. As Leyline of Transformation enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. That's kind of cool. So you could run that in a tribal deck, but if you're running a couple off-tribal monsters, like, say for example, you're running a pirate deck, but you have a couple dragons in there because dragons interact well with artifacts and treasures and stuff like that, then you just make your dragons pirates too. So I'm going to have to draw little pirate hats on the sleeves. That's a bad idea. Leyline of the Void. One of my friends pulled that. Super good. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. That's the other half of Anafen's ability that is super good. It just completely shuts off like graveyard retrieval decks, and it only affects your opponents. It does not affect you. It's not like Rest in Peace, where it's a board effect from then on. Yeah, I really like Leyline of the Void. Leyline of Hope is kind of weak sauce compared to the rest of them. It's just boring. Leyline of Hope kind of sucks. Gaining additional life. Haha. The anthem is nice because it's a +2/+2 anthem instead of just a +1/+1. Mutation's funny. You can play Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. That's goofy. I suppose what you could do is just run like Gilded Lotus, and then that's three of the colors already, and then you can just start throwing Eldrazi down for 5 mana instead of 8 or more. That's funny. I could see myself running that in a Wooburg just because I'm trying to be a nuisance. Like if I were to make, where is she? There she is. Marina. If I did make a Marina deck, the first ability says when she enters, reveal the top 7 cards of your library, put all enchantment cards from among them into your hand. Every creature in the deck would be an enchantment. Every enchantment in the deck would be an enchantment, obviously. I'd want every artifact in the deck to be an enchantment, like Thassa's Bident or Whip of Erebos, strong enchantments. But they're also artifacts, so you can cheat out an artifact because it's also an enchantment. I could have my 1 enchantment land. Where's my enchantment land? I really like that. Valgavoth Lair. I don't think we've had a land that is also an enchantment. Let me search. Let me do the searchy search. I might be lying. Card name, text, type line, type. There we go. It is a land. Enchantment. Is land, is enchantment. Search. Oh, there's a couple of them. Wait, what? Oh, that's because it flips into a land. Yeah, okay. Does this also flip in? Yeah, that also flips into a land. That flips into a land. That doesn't count because they're not enchantment lands. This is a land and it's a cave. That's a land. That's a legendary land. That's a legendary land. That's a legendary land. Wait. Oh, yeah, legendary enchantment. That's also a legendary land. I think these are all going to turn into legendary lands. Oh, that one's not legendary, but still. Urza's Saga. Wait, that's a land? I didn't realize Urza's Saga was a land. That's bizarre. I guess you only have it for 3 turns. Okay, sure. So Urza's Saga is an enchantment land. Legendary land. Legendary land. Jurassic Park. That's funny. Okay, so Urza's Saga and Valgavoth Lair are the only 2 actual enchantment lands. But you sacrifice Urza's Saga when you hit the 3rd lore counter. Yeah, I think I might have an Urza's Saga. That might have to go into the blue deck. because I am running a lot of artifacts in that. But yeah, I think that'll be it for now. I made good time. I think that went a lot faster than last time, so I like that. Hopefully by next week, I have something special planned, and hopefully I can get my hands on it before next week. But it might have to wait an extra week. We'll see. And yeah, look forward to that. I don't want to give any information away. I know I only have one other viewer because one of these is mine, but thanks for tuning in. Somebody might watch the recorded on my channel, so that'll do. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. I'm going to go play a couple games before bed. So, goodbye.